Okay, next story. Park Services announces plan to kill Tule elk to appease ranchers in Point Reyes.
Yes. So this. I mean, this has been going on for years. They There is an issue with the elk, which is the largest herd of elk in California, in the Point Reyes National Seashore, because they battle for resources with the cattle on ranches in Point Reyes. So I mean, they've been discussing what they're going to do with this battle for since 2018 now, and they finally decided that they're going to kill some of these elk, which of course which sucks. I mean, it certainly is not a great outcome. I'm not going to say that these ranchers don't have the right to their land and to feed their cattle and to make a living, but to kill elk in that process just sucks. So, they released their plan, and their plan is to keep a population of 120 elk in the Drake's Beach area of Point Reyes. The problem is the herd had 138 elk as of last count last year. So that means they have to kill at least 18 of them to meet their plan, and appease the ranchers who have, all sorts of livestock in this area. So there's going to be some outrage, no doubt about it. They've extended these ranchers who are on this national park, so to speak, which it's just a weird situation overall. But they have these private ranchers. They extended their leases to 5 year or from 5 year to 20-year terms. So they're there for the long haul. There's 24 ranching families in the park. It's just a weird setup, and they're going to kill the beautiful wildlife that everyone loves about Point Reyes over it. So it's kind of a bummer.
18 though is all they have to kill based on your numbers.
Based off of the population in 2019 is 138, and they have to get that down to 120.
It made me when I before I had heard the numbers because I'm not familiar with this story, so I'm glad to hear this. But so there's this show on Netflix that is called, I think it's called Man Eater or Meat Eater, something like that. And it's this guy who goes out and he hunts whatever elk, sometimes bear, moose, what have you. And the most recent season just came out, and I just watched it, so it's fresh in my mind. But there was an episode where he went into some kind of a whether it national park or state park or an area that generally you're not allowed to hunt, but they give certain amount of tags per year, and it's kind of a lottery thing. And he talked about how kind of similar to this, that not a lot of people like them going onto this public lands or these government lands in order to hunt really not endangered species but beautiful parts of the territory. But the Park Service turns it into a huge moneymaker. If in this one episode, so that's what came to
They
mind when I
are,
thought about
yeah,
it.
they're making money off
If
these
there's only
ranchers,
18,
certainly.
well, but if there's only 18 of, if there was like 50 of them that they had to kill, they could just make 50 tags and sell those to hunters for very big, large sums of money, to potentially bring money back in. So that was just me spitballing here, forward thinking, trying to spin this in a positive way.
Well, it's a stunning rebuke of the National Park Service's overall agenda, which is to preserve wildlife.
It does seem odd.
Yeah, and I mean, trust me, they just released this. There's going to be tons of protests. Yeah, these are the natural elk,
Right.
that have roamed Point Reyes. They're beautiful. They're absolutely gorgeous. And
For cattle that are ultimately going to be slaughtered.
correct.
Planned.
Correct. So, it's a tough subject because I do get the cattle ranchers. I mean, we can't just say, oh, it's kind of like the wolf situation, right? We talk about wolves all the
Totally.
time
That's a good analogy.
because wolves kill, ranchers' cattle, and the ranchers can't do anything about it because the wolves are protected. You can literally go to jail if you kill a wolf. And these ranchers are in the same predicament where they're dealing with wildlife. It just so happens that their ranches are on national park property.
I
They're
guess
on
to me, I'm also struggling with figuring out exactly how, and I'm sure that I can read more about this, but how is elk being alive really going to hurt cows? I mean, they're eating the same grass. Is that what is that? Is there not enough grass to go around?
yes. Basically, I mean, you have a giant plains area and you have this huge herd of elk, the largest herd in California. They take up a lot of the resources where these cattle need resources too. And not only that land. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that these cattle these elk are doing to sort of block the operations of the ranchers. But yeah, I mean, in essence, it was a decision between ranches and between wildlife, and the National Park Service chose ranches. So they're going to start killing them. I don't know how they kill them. I don't know if they just give out tags to hunters. I don't know if they're, I
They
don't know.
better do something and not just kill them and then just let those bodies rot. They better like do something with the meat, or at least do something. Make nature pay it forward or something. You know, eat the meat, turn them into rugs, what have you.
Yeah. What's interesting is, there have been laws that have brought the elk back into California. Once there are half a million elk in California. Today it sits around 3,800. So it's shocking that they're choosing to kill these things after there was such a big momentous occasion to save them and to bring them back. It's weird. I'm shocked that they went this route. But there's probably going to be a lot of litigation in the public in terms of this. But so far they've made their statement. They're choosing the ranchers over the elk.